All right, it's day 63 of doing this. I skipped yesterday, day 62. I did none of my goals. I didn't. I, I didn't do the podcast. I didn't do my push-ups and pull-ups, and I didn't eat like crap, but I definitely was close to my over my limit and closer than I like to be. And what happened? Why did I do that? In the honest answer is I think I was just in a state of flow. Yeah, I mean, my wife's like away for the first day in forever, and so I'm like doing this whole parenting thing alone for the next couple days. But I think I was just genuinely overwhelmed with all of the things I needed to do between home life and work life and pad stats. And we're meeting with customers today, so it's, I really wanted to get everything ready to go, but honestly, I just like lost track of time. Honestly, I didn't prioritize my time very well yesterday, and I guess I probably could have came up and done them like late at night. I just was in the zone with pad stats, and I kind of just didn't. I guess I felt like it was a me day, but if I'm being honest, I think whatever. So I made up for it. I did 20 push-ups and 20 pull-ups today. The last like 5 were so hard. I almost died. But getting back to it today, and we're gonna meet with some customers in a little bit, and potential customers, and see what it's like. I mean, I definitely I'm feeling pretty good right now. Like we're it looks pretty good. I mean, you pick something, you hit our report, it opens up a new tab, it thinks about it for 1 second, and then and we'll fix this thinking about it part. But then it loads in all the stats for that thing. I mean, it's pretty cool, and it looks pretty good on mobile too. I mean, I wasn't super expecting it to be great on mobile, but it's it's doing what we hoped it would do. I got to work on the toggles in the sidebar, but everything else is doing what it's supposed to do. And I even added this feature in yesterday, so it'll explain everything to you about what it is, how it works, and then you can click out of it and you're good. So I think it's safe to call this MVP at this point. So I guess August 16th MVP. We took I would say we took about 2.5 months to do it. I think we started, I guess, 3 months. I think I met Sean, I think May 1st, give or take. And I think it was about May 10th or maybe 15th, we started actually like deciding to work together. And, 2.5, 3 months later, here we are. I would argue this is MVP. The sign up and login buttons work. This is looking pretty snazzy. As far as I know, everything works. And I think that's it. I mean, I guess I'm pretty impressed by myself that ironically, the map and the website took the same amount of time. Like they both took about a month. Like it took about a month to do the map. It took about a month to do the website, to like put the map into it. And like, or I'm sorry, I should say, it took about a month to get the map working and put the map into it, or into the website. And then it took about a month to make the website like usable, mostly because trial and error, just doing stuff the wrong way. But, I think it's pretty good. And then on mobile, it kind of just lets you zoom and scroll, and there's no hover option on mobile, obviously. So it's just kind of, it's there. And we haven't loaded in every single state yet, but I've loaded in most of the country, and it loads very quickly because we built it that way. And it's down to the block group level. And so like in some of these major cities, like for instance, where Sean's at, Miami, you can get pretty close. Like, look at this. We can go down to like this block versus this block. It's pretty cool. So that's MVP. We did it. I would argue it's done, and we're talking to customers today. And the funny thing is, this question mark button, I made this yesterday. This report button, I made this yesterday, and I'm making it today. And it's not this like crazy elaborate thing that took months and months. Like it's more like we were laughing that it takes like more time to like build the database than it is to build these pretty important features for the website. So I do think it's going to be a lot about how do we keep focusing on value add work for the customer from the customer's perspective, because I think we love to like build stuff and make stuff cool. But this one's taking a long time to generate. I guess it's because Florida's pretty big. But we're going to cut down this time too. We already have a plan on this. We'll cut it down to like 1 second or less. I know it's kind of in like the 10s to 20 seconds right now. But yeah, no, we'll get there. It's moving for sure. It's I can't believe how far along we are. I mean, this is one of those times where it's like this is annoying me that's in the background not working, but it's funny, I guess, that we're here. I mean, Pad Stats is a real thing now. We can start selling stuff. I don't have it set up to Stripe yet. We still don't have an LLC built. We still don't have like a lot of stuff built. I really hope this is not broken. That'd be kind of annoying. But it's doing it. It's I guess I should. I was messing around with this bottom part too. I really like the map to have like a bottom to it because it feels like it makes more sense to me. So I was messing around with this little like thing. I don't know. I'm sure this will be different in the future, obviously, but like I do like that this is kind of like that. And I also messed around with it where like if you put your cursor here, it doesn't. Actually, I should test that, huh? Yeah, it's still not doing it, huh? It works like this, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'll have to think about that when the sidebar is not active. The hover is broken. But yeah, so another one of those things. I purposely did it like this so that if you're like right here, a pop-up would show up and then it would break your search. You wouldn't be able to pick anything. But it seems to go back to that functionality when I don't have the sidebar shown. Yeah, those are what bugs are. That's what bugs are, So, but next is like just building in all these crazy toggles that are going to, show people what they want to see, And we do have unique URLs in here. So this is a lat long and the amount of zoom that you're in. So it's going to mimic kayak.com pretty soon, where you can send people the link to it and they'll be able to receive it and know exactly what you're looking at and what it is and everything. And I don't really know how that's going to work with like login access and stuff like that. I got to build that part. And should I only show you if you paid for that version of it or that county or state or whatever? At this point, we have like 30 things on our to-do list and we don't know how to prioritize any of them because there's a lot of things that sound fun to work on and there's a lot of things that seem like they would be good investments, but we still haven't really nailed down a target customer, if I'm being honest. We're kind of modeling AirDNA right now a little bit, and they kind of have a lot of different target customers. Like they have 6 different plans for different types of customers. And so I guess I would argue that it's, we'll see, I'm not too afraid of it right now, but we'll see. I made this stupid logo in like 2 minutes because I just didn't want to think about logos for 8 years. Like there's, a million ways you can do logos and I don't want to get into it. It just seems like such a waste of time. So But I made the logo in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna laugh about this in 5 years that the logo is so stupid, but whatever, you know? I really wanted the A in pad stats to be a house. I think that's where we're probably gonna go, but I don't think that logo's bad actually. The more I look at it, the more I like it, but I think I'm still riding the high of this past weekend with the bachelor party and just having so much fun with all my best friends and having so much time to connect with a lot of them. And even the car ride I really enjoyed, it was just so nice, to have that time. And it's been hard with my wife being more busy, but I'm glad she's doing her dream. It's just different. We're in the new routines phase of this, where last night was the first time that she like slept in this. She's like working like 150 or 100 miles away from us, and so she has to sleep there when she's on call. And we'll get there. We'll figure it out. But building new routines right now and making sure the kids know it's not their fault, that kind of thing, is kind of what I'm focused on with that. But it's hard, It's hard to make everyone feel every way that you want them to. But I think the last thing I always say this, but the last thing I'll talk about today is just focus. I think I continue to learn more about great people. That's been my, interest for the last months. So it's August right now. So around my birth of my son Luther, he was born in November. November was when I first realized that keeping my current job at the time was not an option, and I wouldn't be able to do the things or be around him or help the family in the ways that I needed to as a result of that. And that kind of started me on this journey of like, what do I want to do with my time? And then eventually got a different job, and I've been in that job since, and I still think that moment, for whatever reason, when he was born, I think it changed me more than anything else so far. I mean, I think my kids continue to change me in the birth of our first daughter, Lorelai, our only daughter so far, Lorelai. It's changed me a lot too. But for every reason, I just know I looked up to my dad so much, and I'm sure Lo looks up to me. For whatever reason, it just hit me a certain way when Luther was born, that this kid's gonna look up to me. And that's when I started trying to do new projects, projects outside of work. I've always worked on them, but I've never like taken them too seriously. And so around March-ish, it's about 3 or 4 months, I was starting my new job. I was like, whatever. Around March-ish is when I decided to start building my own things. And I did that for like a month or two. Built a couple things. They fizzled out. They work. They're fine, but they're not valuable in the way that they really are very different than anything anyone else has out there. Like there's a lot of just GPT wrappers on websites or whatever. But what it did do was open my eyes to this whole new community of people. So around, I think like January or February, I started looking at Y Combinator startup school, and honestly, I've just been so, I don't know what the word is, amazed, enlightened, overwhelmed. Like I'm meeting with, interacting with, learning from, teaching people that I would have never met in any other context. And they are teaching me that I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, I know enough, I'm nimble enough, I can do all this stuff. They're teaching me that, because for the first time in my life, I believe it. I keep meeting with these people that are geniuses, that are MIT grads, that want to be the next founder of whatever company. And some of these people are going to be future billionaires, and I am not so different than them. I mean, a lot of them are way better than me. That's fine. I'm not gonna worry about that, but I'll get there. Like, I realized that I can do this. Like, at some level, fundamentally, they're not aliens. They're people. They're not fundamentally so much better than me. They're just people, and they have the same neuroses and worries and problems that I do. And I don't know what happened that like let me understand that. But once I understood that in like April-ish, May-ish, when I met Sean, and I was taking a bunch of interviews with other co-founders and things to like decide what to work on. For the last 3.5 months of my life, we've just been off to the races, off to the races. Because I have been spending every waking moment that my wife or children do not need to spend with me because they're sleeping or whatever. Every single moment I've been building me, building my brain to catch up to these people that are ahead of me at doing this. And I think I have just been just so happy. I've suffered from like depression and anxiety most of my life, and I have a brain that, and my dad is the same way, and maybe his dad was the same way, I don't know, but like we have brains where we stew, we ruminate, we reminisce, we like can't let go of something that happened years ago, something that no one's ever going to remember, some dumb comment we made, some stupid thing that happened where somebody was annoyed by us or whatever. Like, my whole life I've been so afraid to annoy somebody or hurt somebody or like just be anything to anybody. I used to like, I still do, I still wear very bland shirts. I try to like have a very bland appearance and not really do anything until I eat. For most of my teenage years and 20s, I just kind of like would mumble around and not really like try to be interesting or important. I would try to be really boring in front of people because I wanted them to nothing me, because I was so scared of them to anything me. I don't know. For some reason, I don't want positive or negative. I just want them to just not remember me, and it was out of fear. It was out of fear of being ostracized or trying and failing or everything. But between Luther and Lorelai, and now my wife giving me so much purpose and fulfillment and connection, I've been feeling more full to not have that same amount of anxiety about hurting people or upsetting people or, not being included or whatever. And I've found a new fun thing to stop my anxiety. And it is every time I'm ruminating or thinking about the past or whatever and shaming myself for it, I work on startups. I learn something that I need to know for a startup. I work on improving myself, improving my body. I work on anything that is for future me instead of past me. And it's been hard sometimes. Like, I think Sunday night and Monday was really hard for me to let go of the past, because I had one of the best weekends of my entire life with my best friends from high school. And usually those are the times, like when I'm driving home or I get home or I'm home alone the next day or whatever, like that's when the anxiety hits the hardest. Like, was that joke the right joke? Was that the right thing to say? What does that person think of me? Was I fun enough? Like, are they going to invite me to the next thing? Like, those are the next days are the hardest days for me, because I go into anxiety overdrive that, like, did I do it right? Did I just do that social interaction correctly? I had more fun than I've ever had with my friends. Like, it's crazy. I've been being myself and letting my personality out more and more, and trying to push myself in that way for the past, many years. But I literally pushed as far as I've ever pushed before, this past weekend, as far as like letting my personality out, and everyone loved it, and we all had a better time because of it. And what did it teach me? It teach me, like, what am I hiding? Obviously, like, don't go out of your way to hurt somebody, but, like, be goofy, be funny, tell a story, tell a joke, do a bit. But Sunday and Monday were the hardest, but I powered through it. I said, I'm not gonna worry about that thing I said, or that thing I did, or if that person likes me. I'm gonna just do startups instead. And this has been the good habit I've built up, that it's just like, do not let, or yeah, it's do not let the past, like, creep into your brain more than it needs to. But it's also like, what is the point of that? I mean, like, at some fundamental level, I don't I don't want to care. It's not going to help me to think about it more, you know? And it what does help me is to build something, and my dad builds houses. That's how he, like, figured out his way, and he does a lot of puzzles. And those helped me for a while, but they didn't feel enough, like after a while, it just feels like you know how to build a house. Like, it doesn't feel like it's something scalable or tangible. It doesn't feel like, I don't know. For whatever reason, it doesn't translate to me. It works for him, and it just doesn't work for me the exact same way. It's fun to build a house or do a puzzle, but I hit some sort of limit of, like, what's the point of this? But with startups, that limit does not exist, because what's the point of this? Is this can be the whole rest of your life, and business is fun because it's just so interesting. Like, there's so many variables. It's a most complicated puzzle I've ever interacted with. I'm in some ways, I'm living my life like I'm a video game character, and I'm playing Grand Theft Auto or whatever. But I'm not, like, it's not, the game isn't to hurt people. The game is to, like, make money, but also just, like, learn how to make money and learn how to do these things, and grow in that direction. And I mean, my life might be different in the future, but, like, right now, I cannot picture me spending my awake time that isn't, part of my family responsibilities, working on anything else. I don't see the point. I don't find it as fun. It doesn't relieve my anxiety as well. Like, I feel like this is like the triple threat, of, like, awesomeness. And I guess I'm really proud of myself that in 2.5 months, 3 months, I feel like between me and Sean, we built something that's actually really, really good and really, really cool. And I know I'm not supposed to fall in love with MVP. We got to get customer feedback. We got to do all these things, and it never ends. But my goal this year in 2023 was to fail really hard, was to actually go all in on something and really fail at it. And I kind of did that with my first things that I was working on in March, in February, March. But I think this is, I plan on working with Sean for many years, and I think that's been the biggest change in my life, is realizing that having an expiration date on your project is one of the worst things you can do. Like, I need to assume I'm going to be working on pad stats in 5 years, because that makes me want to learn every little piece of it, and not just kind of, like, half do it, like half understand it and, like, half care, like, it's like I'm either all in or all out, and I'm only going to win if I'm all in. So and you just kind of change your mind and how you're going to spend your time and everything too. But sorry for all the story time, but all I was trying to say is that, like, I fundamentally believe that this MVP is a new leaf for me. You know, that this is a real tangible change in my behavior. Because right at this point in most of my life, I would say, stop, I'm done, we're good. If someone doesn't like it, I guess it's bad, and I shouldn't have built it. But this is the beginning, you know, like, we're just starting. This is the worst thing we're gonna ever build, you know. I normally would say this is the best thing I've ever built, and that's it, and we're done building. But this is the worst thing we're gonna build. You know, I like, when I think of it in terms of these, I think that's I think that's gonna be it. That's gonna be a new lifelong thing for me. So, well, this was good talk. I think it just goes back to focus, though. Is like, that's what Jobs says. That's what a lot of people say. That's what Bill Gates says. That's what Warren Buffett says. It's gotta focus. So let's stay focused. And let's keep going. We can do this. It's day one. Thanks, Jeff. Every day is day one. Let's go talk to some users. I'm excited. This is gonna be really cool. I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be so hard to, like, the hardest part is gonna be knowing what to do next, you know? Like, I don't have that. Like, so last thing I'll say is, I do have a goal in mind after all this. I want to be Mike Seibel. That's my goal, is to be Mike Seibel. That's my goal. Michael Seibel, the founder of Twitch and the chairman or whatever of YC. I want to have multiple startups, get pretty far along into the, you know, really, really high, you know, valuations. And then I want to coach others on it. My end goal is to coach people and teach people how to do this. But I can't do that without experience. So this is me getting the experience to do that, to get my dream job one day. But no one cares what I'm saying. No one cares what I think until I do something. And that's why no one watches these, because no one cares until I'm doing stuff that is remarkable. Until I'm great, no one cares what I'm going to say about anything. And it's fine with me. I'll see you there. I'll see you when you care about what I think. You know, we'll talk then. I'll be waiting. I'm sure I'll know more, but I'm sure a lot of the things also are trial and error, you know, like, so August 16th, MVP, check. We are checked on MVP. Done. It's a good feeling. You know, we still got to add crime in there. We still got to add walkability. We still got to do all this stuff. A lot of the things are really done in really stupid ways, but let's do it. Let's go. I'm ready. All right. I'll see you.